And good morning, everyone. Welcome back into another of our Star of the Game specials here as part of the Epifano McDonald's McSports Saturday show. I'm Randy Young, your host. Thanks so much for tuning in. We have our second group of young people that were elected or voted on or selected, however words you want to use, by our staff at WCHC after we did a broadcast of Fayette County Youth Sports. We did basketball, we've done wrestling, we've done bowling. So we've got a cross section of different sports that will be representative here on today's show. We also have a third show coming up, and that will be next week as well. So we'll tell you more about that as we get closer to it. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we're going right into the interviews. We're going to be talking to, like we did the first show, we got baseball games going on today. So when we come back, we'll be talking to Brady Armstrong, who was selected as one of our Star of the Games for Miami Trace Panther basketball. Stay with us right here on the Epifano Sports Network. All right, we're back here at the Jeffersonville McDonald's, starting show number 2 of 3 that we're going to be doing over the next 2 weeks. Joining us now is Brady Armstrong from the Miami Trace program. Brady, of course, plays multiple sports, and in fact, he's got a baseball game here in just a little over an hour, so told him to get him on first and talk a few minutes and get you out there. Well, I don't want Coach Smith mad at me or anything like that, all right? You, of course, were selected during the basketball season. Let me look at my paper here, Brady. I believe you got selected for a game in early February. And my writing is so bad I can't remember. Does it say what's it say on the board?
February 10th.
February 10th, and who was it against?
Dayton Stivers.
Oh, Dayton Stivers,
Yep.
Okay. We do so many games I can't keep it straight. And then if you look at my writing, it's like, that really confuses me. Dayton Stivers was a non-conference game you guys had toward the end of the season, right before you wrapped things up and won the league, I believe the following Tuesday, I believe it was against Hillsborough.
Yep.
Let's talk a little bit about your career at Miami Trace. You've played football.
Golf.
Like I said, you played golf.
Yep, golf. Used to play football.
That's my first mistake of the second show, guys. I know it's only 3 minutes into it, but still, it's my first mistake. Okay, golf, basketball, and baseball.
Yep.
All right. Of the 3 sports, do you have a certain philosophy or a certain thing that you try to prepare yourself mentally going into each of those seasons?
I mean, each season's definitely different, so I think I have different ones for each season. Like, golf is such a mental game. If you get inside your head, it's going to be a long match or long season. And then basketball, it's much more upbeat, up-paced, so I just try to keep my mind calm, and it helps me slow down on the court. And then for baseball, that's probably my favorite sport, and it comes the most natural to me, so I kind of just go out there and do my thing when it comes to baseball. So.
What positions do you play in baseball?
Pitcher and shortstop.
Okay. You pitched the other night, didn't you? Okay, that's what I thought.
Yep.
Basketball-wise, of course, this was an interesting season. Number one, there were some high points, and unfortunately there were some low points. Kind of maybe for the folks that are listening that maybe you're not totally familiar, let's talk the high points first. You guys got the league championship. That's the first time in a long, long time.
Yep.
Going through the league schedule like that, you only lost, I believe, at Courthouse?
Yep, at Courthouse.
But the rest of the way you won. What was that like, celebrating that championship?
I mean, it was pretty cool. It's like the first one you said we've had in a while, and we won it on our home court, so that was fun. It's something we've been looking to do ever since I was a freshman, so it's been 4 years in the making, and we finally got it done.
Now, also, one of the down points was, of course, the health of Coach Ackley.
Yeah.
having the heart problems and stuff. And, he was gone there for almost total 6 weeks, even though he kept sneaking on the sideline every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
But how did the guys respond to that?
We knew there was pretty much either two options. We could let it ruin our season, or we could, do it for him. So we chose that. We won that Holiday Classic tournament. That was the first game he was gone. So we like to say we won that for him, and then after that we just built on that and wanted to do everything we did for him until he came back.
Of course, you played under. Did you play under Coach Pitzer the first year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So you played under Rob, and then been the last 3 years and stuff like that. When you look at the program, they're both very intense guys on the sideline, stuff like that. Did you have to kind of mentally prepare for that, or have you been around coaching so long that it goes in not necessarily one ear and out the other, but you try not to, don't shoot the messenger, but get the message what they want to get.
Yeah, but I try, just like you said, kind of one ear out the other, take in the important parts they're saying, listen to everything they're saying. I've had a lot of different coaches throughout the years, each with different coaching styles, so I was ready for anything.
You have one of the advantages. We had John Wall on earlier. John plays golf and also plays basketball, so he has the same coach and Coach Bartrip. You have Coach Smith both in golf and in baseball.
Yep.
How's that helped you?
It's just helped me build a closer relationship with Coach Smith. Golf is just much more laid back, so that's kind of more of his laid back time. Like, we get to know each other more, and then once it comes to baseball, we kind of already have that bond and relationship that makes us even closer. And it's fun when you really know your coaches. It makes it a lot easier.
I know that part of the celebration, I guess, you guys had is when he got that 400th win about a year or so ago and things like that. So, when you have a coach that has that kind of prestige and stuff, it's a lot easier to accept a lot of things he says when he gives you that message, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it helps you definitely respect him a lot more when he's got that many wins. It's makes you sure he knows what he's doing.
You guys this year have had a chance, not only this year, but the last couple of years, you've had a chance to go away from the high school and play at some pretty nice facilities. Tell us about some of the places you guys have actually got to go.
I mean, we've been to Wright State, which was really fun. We played a really good game there last year. I think it went into 10 innings, and we were able to pull that one out. And then we always are down at the VA Stadium down in Chillicothe, and that's always fun playing down there. So
it's almost like a second home to you guys this year. You've had a lot of games down there.
We've had 4 or 5 games down there.
And the thing is, I guess you're also going to be playing Courthouse down there when it's technically your home game. Yeah. So you have a chance there to do that as well.
Yeah.
What's your future plans?
So next year I'm going to college, Marion University is in Indianapolis, to play baseball.
Really?
Pitch. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I used to have a son that went to Indiana Wesleyan, and so we'd go through Indianapolis, and I remember seeing signs for that. Mm-hmm. What do you plan on studying?
Kinesiology.
I'm sorry?
Kinesiology. It's like study of bones and muscles, like physical therapy, doctor, stuff like that.
So you use one of those big words on me, Brady. I'm the old school. Just give me English, bud.
Yep.
What drew you to that?
I've always just kind of wanted to be like in the medical field somewhere. It used to be dentistry, and then it's just here within the past 2 or 3 years it's kind of changed. I've been looking into options, and kinesiology seems like it's fit. It's got so many different things you can branch out into once you get your 4 years done. So
okay, well, good.
Yeah.
And you're going to try to play baseball, right?
Yep.
Now, people will think right off the bat you play at a smaller school and stuff. That might be to your advantage, though, right?
Yeah, I think it will be. Yeah.
But the demands on the study still will be the same.
Oh yeah, I'm still going for school. Still going to get that degree.
Well, good.
Yep.
Well, it's been great to watch you over the last couple of years. I know we followed you a little bit in the junior high level and stuff like that. That's the thing, doing sports with all you guys for all these years and stuff like that. I know the coaches are going to miss you. I'm going to I wonder what so-and-so is doing now and so-and-so is doing now. But it's good to make sure you hang around Trace every once in a while in Fayette County so when we say hi to you, okay?
Yep, I'll be back.
All right, good enough.
Yep.
Brady, congratulations. Brady Armstrong, our star of the game against Dayton Stivers back on February the 10th. And we're going to let him go here in just a second because he's got to get ready to get the glove on and get ready to play some baseball. But we appreciate him joining us today. We'll be back. We'll talk to Kate Bailey right after this. All right, we're back here once again on the Saturday sports program. We just keep getting these great guests in, and we're changing it up a little bit. We have had bowling on WCHC in the past, but this year we was able to have both the boys and the girls on. Kate Bailey's with us right now. Kate, you had a pretty good series, if I remember that game that we broadcast against Miami Trace. Can you remember that series, how things went for you, or has it been so long ago, like, I don't remember?
No, I remember it. It was a great series. I actually bowled my high game, 246, as well as another game, I believe 191, so high series. I had just gotten a new ball, so it was a little different, but it worked very well for me. And
Really? Mm-hmm. That's very unusual to have a new bowling ball and have a good series like that. Mm-hmm. What was the I'm going to ask a stupid question, but that's me, so don't worry about it. What made the difference?
It was just a more, just like a better ball, more advanced. My first ball was a beginner one, so I got a new one, and it just curves better, just works better on the lane.
Okay.
So, and it's more accurate.
What, as for folks maybe are not familiar with bowling, they probably see bowling on TV every once in a while and stuff, on the high school level and stuff. Kind of tell us how's your matches break down? Like, you bowl what first?
We bowled the games.
Okay, so you bowl how many games?
We bowled 2 games and then 3 bakers, which are only one line of frames that 5 players on the team play, and they take every frame. So each player gets 2 balls, or 2 frames. So there's 5 games in total, 5 sets.
Okay. So you guys keep quite busy. Once you do your own individual game, that's kind of what you're doing, and then once you go to Bakers, it's kind of more of like a team effort in a way,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Now, Trace and Courthouse has always had tight, especially with the girls. I don't think we've done a match yet where it's been less, well, it has been less than 100 pins or closer. Mm-hmm. Every year we've done it. We've done it for 4 years now. We've had some with like 30 pins, 50, 60, and I think this one was under 100 if I remember right this year. What is it about going up against girls from Miami Trace? Is it just automatic, it's a rivalry there, or is it you know them real well, what?
So yeah, we know them really well. We practice in the same bowling alley, so we're friends. And I think that really ignites a healthy competition, and we just try our best to beat them, but also be good sports. And I think it just makes us want to win more.
How much strategy can go into your individual bowling game? I mean, do you have to look for certain things or what?
Yeah, so it's more than you think. It's more than just throwing the ball. You have to hit a specific mark and throw it a specific way for it to go where you want it to. It really just depends on how you throw it, what ball you have. You just got to know what the lanes are like, how it's going to react.
I guess that's another important thing is that people don't realize, you guys just don't bowl at Leella Lanes. You bowl around the league and other tournaments and stuff like that. When you guys go to a visiting site, what are some of the things that you have to contend with?
So we get a practice warm-up and we have to see how the lanes are different. There's oil patterns and sometimes they differ than ours. So we just have to get a feel for how the ball is moving and then go from there. When
you say oil pattern, what do you mean? Some put harder oil on, or more oil, or less, or what?
Yeah, some lanes can put more oil on, I believe, and just different patterns, like where the oil is actually going on the lane.
So I think you said you had a career best against the Miami Trace and stuff. Going into the tournaments, refresh my mind a little bit. How'd you guys do in the tournaments?
Do you mean all FAC, like the FAC?
Like the FF, yeah.
FAC.
Yeah.
So we bowled pretty well as a team. I believe my coach said that it was our best match as a team. I believe we came in third out
Okay.
of 6 teams.
Okay.
It was a good way to end the season before the actual sectional tournament. We just had fun and we just got through it.
How many of the girls are expected to come back next year? I mean, how many seniors are you losing? Do you know?
We lost 4 seniors.
Oh, wow.
3 being on varsity.
Okay.
So a couple JV are moving up, but I believe all of our varsity bowlers are going to stay on the team.
All right, good. Well, congratulations. You were our star of the game against Miami Trace in bowling, and you never know. You might be back on in the future as well. It was good. I was glad to hear that was your best series.
Yes, thank you.
With a new bowling ball. I'm still trying to figure that one out. So that takes a little talent. I mean, I'll be honest with you. You know, sometimes you got to get used to it and stuff like that. So that's good. So congratulations to you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Once again, that's Kate Bailey joined us here on our program. We will take a break and we'll come back. We'll talk to her coach, Mr. Anthony Amore, right after this. All right, back here to the Epifana McDonald's McSports Saturday Show. With us now, Anthony Amore, Washington Courthouse Blue Line girls bowling coach. Let me ask you a question. How did your program that we did a FYI on about the robots or whatever? Mm-hmm. How'd that show go?
It went well. We actually had quite a few teams show up for the tournament, and it was actually a really big success. All the teams that were there, they felt like it went really well, and hope to be able to do that again next year.
Okay, good enough. Let's talk a little bit about bowling. How'd you guys do this year overall?
We didn't do too bad this year. It's one of those things where most of the kids I have are pretty young kids. Got 4 seniors that graduated this year. And this season, it was one of those things where I think the girls actually ended up believing themselves more towards the end of the season. And it's one of those things where I wish they could have done that a little bit sooner. I was trying to get to the point where they're getting to that point. And it's one of those things where once that actually clicked, I think it was our second to last tournament. We made the cut. We were the second or third round, furthest we've ever went in a tournament this season. And they looked at each other and they're like, we can do this. Like, we are a decent team.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, you guys are. I've been telling you that.
Yeah.
And the thing about bowling and the FAC, there's some really good bowling teams in the FAC. Trace always has some good girls. Hillsborough always seems to have a decent team.
Yeah.
We had a decent team this year. We ended up being third in the FAC. But it's one of those things where, like, the differences between bowling in the FAC matches and going to tournaments, sometimes the tournaments might be just a little bit easier sometimes. So,
when you look at the way that high school bowling was a part of your life, in fact, bowling period, your family's life and stuff like that, I'll ask you a little more personal question. Has that prepared you to be a coach?
I think growing up around the sport my entire life, it's one of those things where I have an understanding of the game at a level that most people don't. It's one of those things where there's things that I know about it just because I've been around it so much.
Right.
And it's one of those things where I have a love for the game. been bowling since I could walk, or really. So it's one of those things where it's been a part of my life, my entire life.
Yeah.
Literally. So does it help me be a coach? I think so, just because of that knowledge base. But there's a lot more to coaching than just knowing the information and knowing the skills and the things that you have to know to be able to teach what the people are trying to do.
Right.
And that's something that I've been working on to get better at. And I feel like that's something that you're always going to end up getting better at.
Have you had a chance, even though you're coaching, have you got a chance to play yourself in tournaments?
It's been a few years.
Really? Okay.
We do a city tournament every year at Courthouse. I bowl in that every year. But as far as other tournaments, I really don't take time to bowl out in those tournaments and things like that, mainly because of my family at home.
Yeah.
I know bowling season does take a lot of time from my family. So it's one of those things where every opportunity I have to hang out with my kids and my wife, I try to do that as much as possible.
And I'm sure she appreciates it too.
Yes. And then bowling season, it's a long season. So by the time the end of the season rolls around, she is definitely ready for me to be home more often with the kids and with her and just to help out and just to be with them. So
let's talk a little bit about Kate. She was our star of the game against her series with Miami Trace. She's going to be one of your returners, hopefully come back next year.
Yes,
Tell us a little bit about her game.
So she started bowling, I believe, last year. I believe she's a sophomore this year. Starting out last year, we got her a ball. She had a ball, just a basic entry-level ball, and really did pretty well with it. Was able to hit a mark, was able to learn the game, how to play the game, pick up spares, things like that. And this year, we continued that. She honed her skills some more. But she actually got a higher performance ball as well.
Yes.
And when she got that higher performance ball, it was actually the second match that we bowled was the match that you guys came and recorded for us.
Right.
And that's where she bowled her 191 and I think a 246 game.
Yeah.
And after that, it was one of those things where it was almost like something opened up for her. And then every game after that was above her average of the entire year. I think her average, when I compared the averages from the first half of the season to the second half of the season, she had one of the highest second half average increases in the first half the average. So it's one of those things where I think she really figured some things out there, and I'm excited to see what she's going to be able to do next year as well.
I'm going to say, if you play long enough, you get the experience enough, hopefully something's going to click, and it's going to make you a much better participant, no matter what the sport is. So I'm glad to hear that she's made some improvement in there. Now, during the off season, I assume you try to get the kids to bowl as much as they can, and get ready for the next season coming up. What are some of the things do you sit down individually with them, or?
I don't do that at this point in time. I try to get them to go out there as much as possible. I know I do have some girls right now that do get together and they go bowl with each other.
Oh, okay.
Here and there. It's one of those things where I kind of take a back seat to that just a little bit in the off season.
Yeah.
If they want help or if they need help or whatever, I'll be more than happy to come help them out when I can. But it's one of those things where the way I try to coach is I try not to just coach, I try to actually teach them how to pay attention to what they need to pay attention to and how to make those adjustments. So that way when they're on their own and they're working on some things, then they can actually get better and kind of know and get that confidence of knowing what they need to do in those types of situations.
Okay, I will say the teaching part, I know for a fact, because I know the last couple of years we've done the match with you, I watch you and stuff like that, actually teaching kids even during the match itself, trying to give them little short hints here and there. And so you're right as far as sometimes you can overcoach a kid.
Oh, yeah.
So, if you get the right situation stuff, you can do it. All right. Well, enjoy the off season with your family, and we'll hopefully see you guys this coming winter, and we'll do it again.
Sounds good. Thank you much,
All right,
Randy.
thanks, Andy. Appreciate it. Anthony Amore with us. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk to Honesty from Miami Trace, Honesty Evans, right after this. Stay with us. Honesty Evans is with us right now. She's no stranger to our program. We had her on, I think, twice during your high school career.
Yep.
Hard to believe you're a senior already.
Yes, I am.
How many days left, do you know?
I'm 22.
Wow.
Yep.
It's getting quicker and quicker. From the time you started as a freshman to now that you completed your senior year, what were some of the areas that you are very proud of that you were able to accomplish during your high school career?
My biggest goal freshman year was to go to states, of course, and I did that sophomore year. After that, my goal was to go every year, like my junior and senior year also, which I didn't. But I was bowler of the year, junior and senior year, so that was a big goal that I've accomplished. I think that's about it.
How'd your game improve?
I consistently started hitting my mark, which we still have a little problem with, but we're getting better. Picking up splits and spares have been a big part of my game improvement. Just my confidence overall, I would say. The mindset part of bowling has just improved a lot.
Have you found yourself that as you went up in the classes and stuff like that, to now your senior year and stuff, that you've kind of taken more on a leadership role, spoken and unspoken?
I would say so. After my sophomore year, I was the only underclassman and there were a bunch of seniors. So I really had to step it up junior and senior year because I had a lot of underclassmen and new kids that hadn't started bowling yet. So I would say that I've really enforced the leadership role. I don't really know how it's going to go next year, but we're going to hope that somebody else steps up and helps the underclassmen as well.
When you look back, as you already mentioned, you got a chance to go to the state tournament and things like that your sophomore year. Man, it seems like a long time ago, doesn't it?
It does.
But when you look back on that experience and the experiences that you've had, as you get ready to graduate, what maybe you haven't really even let it absorb in yet, but was there something about that that's maybe 2 years later kind of still sticks in your mind?
I definitely didn't do as well as I wanted to, so that kind of, I feel like that always kind of gets to me because I wasn't like first team or second team or even honorable mention. I was like 23rd, but I still remember that I shouldn't have done a ball change, and I did, so that's why my third game was so low.
Okay.
And so that kind of still really sticks with me.
When you look at the environment, you know, of course, the higher up you go, the pressures, there's going to be more and more pressure on you, stuff like that. This year, though, your senior year, what were some of the things that you felt was kind of maybe a little pressure-packed situations that you had to go through?
Being the only senior, I would say that the girls got in their heads so much, and so really helping them to get out of that and just focus on one ball at a time, and helping them with their spares, and just also keeping myself up, and it was difficult, but I think we did pretty well in the end. So
when you look now with you getting ready to graduate and stuff, what kind of future plans are you looking at?
I will be attending Shawnee State University.
Great.
And bowling for them. We were just talking about setting up a signing day, so I will be doing that, and then I'm majoring in sports management.
Really? Well, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. Now, the Foose girl, didn't she get a bowling scholarship too?
She did. She's there. She'll be a senior next year, so I'll be a
Oh my
freshman.
goodness. So that's the problem. I'm getting older. Your kids are getting older too with it, you
Yeah.
know? But that's great. I'm glad to see that you're going to have a chance to go on and get your education helped out by a scholarship.
Yes.
That's great. It's good. I'm sure that everyone appreciates that in the family. You know, they get down there and cheer you on and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You ever have hopes of, is there a women bowling association?
There is. I haven't really thought about that.
Uh-oh.
I
I got a seed planted there now, honestly.
I know. I don't, it's not that I don't think I'm good enough, but I feel like mentally I just I'm not to that level yet, so maybe college will help that, and then I'll have a better plan of getting there maybe, but as of right now I don't think so.
Just want to enjoy the last 20-some days of school, right?
Yes.
All right, good enough. Well, honestly, appreciate it. It's been a joy to watch over the last couple of years and talk to you about your state visit and much more. Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
And going to college and bowling there as well. We'll keep an eye on how you're doing, okay?
Okay.
All right. Honesty Evans from Miami Trace bowling team, who was our Miami Trace girls player or star of the game back in January against Washington Courthouse. We'll talk to her coach, Diana Moore. And we also have a couple more guys from the Miami Trace basketball team to talk, so stay with us right here on the Epifano McDonald's McSports Saturday Show. All right, we're back live here on the McSports program. Diana Moore is with us right now. She is the girls coach for Miami Trace. Why don't we talk about Honesty Evans here? She's been quite an athlete for the last couple of years for you. What kind of a young lady is she?
Very nice young lady. She's bowled ever since she's been wee little. She actually used to bowl Child Adult League with my youngest son.
Really?
Way back when.
Okay.
So she's been bowling most of her life.
Well, I was so glad to hear that she's going to get that chance to go to college, be on the bowling team there. So I'm glad to see that as well. How'd your season go this year?
It went pretty good. It went really good, actually. We ended up winning the league, and we ended up winning the league tournament also.
Well, that's good.
We did very well.
Now, maybe explain that to folks that are watching here, how the league is set up in that regards. Do you have a regular season and then a tournament, or is it overall? Or how's it
There's
work?
a regular season, and we get points for every win that we get from the regular season within the league.
Okay.
And then we do have a tournament at the end of the league, and for every win you kind of bowl against everybody at that point in time, and for every one that you win against, you get points for that one.
So is it like if you win the league, mean the tournament, you get like 5 points? Is that a point?
If you win the tournament, yes, because you'd be bowling if you won against everybody.
Okay. How long have you been bowling, Coach Miami Trace?
Going on 7 years, I think.
I'm going to say it's been up there, yeah.
Yeah.
What have you enjoyed from it?
Watching the girls just mature, and when we start, sometimes some of them have never bowled before in their life, and it's just amazing. The ones that want to put the work into it, and the practice, and how they develop and get so much better. And then you have some of the girls that they've never really done anything else. No other sports or anything, and the accomplishments that they can accomplish with this, and the just the confidence they get in themselves when they do good. That's the biggest thing.
When you coach a team, what's your style? Are you kind of laid back, or are you kind of like
Not as strict as I should be.
not strict as you should be? Okay.
No, but each year, and I'm always planning the next year toward the end of the year that we are on.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, maybe we should do this. Maybe I should incorporate this next year. Maybe we should incorporate this. And some of it just depends too on the group of girls we had. All sophomores except for one senior. So I'll have those girls for a couple more years, hopefully. Hopefully they come back and everything. And I'm trying to think, okay, what can we do to help them get to where they need to be a state champion?
Now I know that Anthony talks, part of his style is basically off season, unless they really need me, I kind of back off a little bit and let them be young people.
Right.
That's kind of your philosophy too?
Right. I kind of like let them know that, you know, you need to practice. You know, it's like anything. If you're an athlete in anything, the more you practice, the more you stay in shape. Bowling, you're still an athlete. If you're physically fit, even bowling, when we go to those tournaments and we're bowling all day, you can tell the girls that are in shape and you can tell the girls that are not, because they're tired, they're worn out by the end of the day, both mentally and physically.
Yeah.
But you know, you just, I try to stress that. As far as, you know, coaching or anything, I usually don't do that until it's time unless they ask.
Okay.
Unless they ask.
Okay.
We do have the junior program that I do kind of recommend for them, because then they're bowling every week.
Okay.
And it's amazing what happens when you bowl every day or every week versus just bowling a couple times.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like you say, more consistency, more practice. Hopefully, the better your skills are going to be and things like that. When you look back now on this team here, how many seniors are going to be losing besides Honesty?
Just one.
She's it.
As I said, I had all sophomores and one senior.
Okay, so you definitely got something to work with over the next couple of years. And you already mentioned, you're basically going to let them learn and stuff like that. But if there's one thing in particular for your team, if there's one area that you really would like to see an improvement from everybody next year, what would it be?
Hitting their marks. Being
Hitting
consistent.
their marks.
Being consistent.
When you say hitting their marks,
Hitting the spot on the lane that they need to hit for their ball to do what it needs to do.
okay,
Keeping your arms straight. Form and is probably the big thing too.
okay. Is the marks like the little arrows?
Marks are the arrows.
The little arrows in the
Yes.
lanes.
Yes.
I have learned something today.
So another thing, so that we can, because there's a lot of people that don't bowl.
Yeah,
I had a
they're,
grandma that, you know, grew up bowling alley. and all
Yeah.
that, you know. Can you explain how the lanes are boiled and what effect that has? 'Cause a lot
Yeah.
of people don't understand that, including me.
There are different ways to put the oil down. I mean, you have the machine that does that, but there's different ways you can put it down. You can put just a little bit of oil on the outsides, and
okay,
a lot of oil in the middle.
okay,
You can put oil all the way across. Some of these tournaments we go to on Saturdays, the Baker tournaments, they do have different oil patterns on there. You can make it longer, you can make it shorter, and whatever you do to it makes different balls react differently. And the biggest thing is the one who figures it out first is the one who hit the most strikes. And you know, it's a learning thing, because you have to move your feet, you have to move where you're throwing your ball and everything, and that's all part of, you know, learning how to.
Well, I guess my question then is, what is the strategy or what is the thinking behind oiling the lanes? Is it to try to do everybody?
Well, the
keep
one reason the lanes are oiled is to protect the lanes from the friction.
Oh, okay.
Because if you didn't have any oil down there at all, it would not last long at all.
Yeah, you guys have probably been through 20 rebuilding programs by now.
At least, at least, yes, because it would tear up the equipment and everything.
So what kind of oil do you use?
There are several different types that are out there that we can get from our distributors, and different places use different types. It depends on their machine and everything.
And those, but you guys use that as well as, like, say, general public just wants to go out for a regular night of bowling stuff. Do you oil the lanes?
Most places have like what they call a house shot, and that's what they have down most of the time, all the time, unless
Okay.
they have a special tournament in there, or you know they want to do something different. They do have like the pros will bowl on what they call a sports shot or a pro shot.
Okay.
Which makes it a little bit harder.
Yeah.
You know, because they have the oil set up differently on the lanes and everything. And you know, some places may do a league or something, or a day that, hey, come on out, we've got this down on the lanes. You know,
So your
see what we
machine
can do.
you can program.
We can program it, yes, different ways you want it.
Isn't that amazing? I mean,
It is. No. I just know they just throw the ball down the lane.
That's what people think.
If they hit
Yeah,
all 10
there's
pins, I know that's a
lot
strike.
of, lot of science and chemistry in bowling.
Wow.
Think about bowling, okay? How many sports do they change the field of play? When they change all that oil in it, that changes the field of play.
Well, that's
It's
true.
insane, you
That's
know?
true.
So,
That's true.
And different machines will oil just a little differently. You know, you have different lane surfaces that are older or younger, or you know, that can change it too, and you just need to learn to move and adapt.
All right, well, folks, you've got a little education there today on bowling.
I'm glad.
Seriously, you just don't know sometimes. But if you ask, you'll get an answer.
Absolutely.
Diane's
Ask the experts.
Diane's been around
Ask
long.
the experts.
Yeah, Diane's been
I
around
don't know if I'm an
enough.
expert or not.
Yeah, but you've been around long enough, boy, and you probably know the basics, if nothing else.
I know the basics. I know the basics.
All right, Diana Moore, who is the girls' bowling coach, Miami Trace, joined us with us right now. We'll take a break. When we come back, we're down to our last two guests, little basketball. So stay with us right here on the Epifano McDonald's McSports Saturday Show. Back here now on the McSports program, Bryson Osborne's with us right now. Bryson won Star of the Game, I think, of the first two broadcasts we had for you guys, the Jackson game in December, and then the Miami Trace and Courthouse game in December. So you hit the first two. That Courthouse game was one that kind of still stands out in my mind a little bit. That was a game that you went kind of nuts on the three-point shooting.
Yeah, I did a little bit. Couldn't seem to miss in the first half.
Yeah, you had, I believe, 20-something around halftime, something like that?
I think, I don't know, it was up there. It was up there.
All I know is I remember Coach Barker on the post-game program says, "Where'd that kid come from?" Says, "We've been scouting him. He hasn't shot that many threes before." But you've had a career where you've been able to actually win a couple games, if I remember right, your sophomore year and junior year, where you've hit some late-minute shots and stuff like that to win the contest. So let's kind of talk a little bit about that. Where do you see your game at? Do you try to concentrate on driving or threes or mixture or what?
I try to get the offense going, and sometimes I'll penetrate, but most of the time I'll pass to my teammates. Unless I'm wide open, then I'll shoot it.
Do you play a point guard position or shooting guard or a combination?
Usually I'm point guard, but sometimes Bodecker brings it up the court.
Okay. And I know that Grant Guest also has had times where he's broke the ball up a little bit.
He comes in off the bench, and also he'll bring the ball up the court.
What has this season meant to you?
It meant a lot. I learned a lot of life lessons, and I had a great time with teammates and coaches.
I was going to say, that's a good point. You just brought up the life lessons and stuff. How did that affect you guys when you started hearing all this news about Coach Ackley, and you had to get right back into the holiday tournament and things like that? What were some of the emotions you guys were going through?
Well, we felt real bad for him because you never want that to happen to somebody, and then you have to play in a couple days. That don't help either.
Yeah.
And then you have to play without him. It was pretty rough.
What has that taught you?
The value of your life, I guess, because you could lose it at any moment.
Yeah.
No day is guaranteed.
Okay, that's a good lesson. As you look at this season, you guys won the league championship. That has to be one of the high points and stuff. What were maybe one or two of the toughest games you guys had to play, especially down the stretch?
Well, the Circleville game was very rough. We only scored 5 points in the second half.
Yeah.
That was probably the worst game we had. And then at Courthouse, we lost. We wanted the gold ball, which is undefeated in the league, and then we lost the Courthouse. That was probably the worst game to us. That meant the most to us.
Then you came back and you beat Hillsboro to clinch it outright. And then weird thing of scheduling, you turn around and played them again the following Tuesday at home again.
Colton had a big game when we played him the third time.
Yeah, that's the reason he was our star of the game. We're going to talk to him in a second here. But again, unfortunately for you guys, that last second shot did come back to haunt you a little bit down his name. Trace, tell us a little bit about that.
Ben tried to mix them up a little bit and go to zone, and it worked because their point guard dribbled to the corner with 1 second left, and then he passed it. and they somehow threw up a shot, and it bounced around and went in somehow.
Yeah, I was listening to it on the radio, and I was like, no, that couldn't have happened, but it did.
Yeah, I think I looked. He got the shot off like 0.2 seconds on the clock.
Really?
It was,
Jeez. Yeah. Playing high school basketball, what has that taught you individually?
it really teaches you to rely on other people because you can't do everything yourself. You have to work with others. That's the biggest thing.
Now, did you play other sports?
No.
Okay. For some reason I thought you played golf, but I'm old, so I get all mixed up sometimes. You have to bear with me. What are you going to do now? Graduation's coming up in what, 20-some days here?
It's pretty soon. I think we got 4 weeks left or something.
Right.
I'm gonna try and enjoy the summer and then enter the workforce after that.
Okay. No plans to try to play any sports?
No.
Time to get a job, huh?
Yep.
Okay. Well, there's
Might come back and play with the guys some or help Ben out.
Okay.
Maybe.
Ever have any interest in coaching?
I might. Yeah, I would like to, but
I could say one of the things that your coaches have talked about a little bit is, and they're not seeing you doing it. You're doing stats and stuff like that sometimes during the reserve game, and you're on the bench talking with and stuff. And I kept thinking, you probably would be a good coach, but you're kind of learning the basics right now, which is good. So I could see you maybe down the road being a coach if you really want to.
I'm pretty much the coach on the floor as the point guard, and then I try to help Alex out, who's the JV coach, and he listens and talks a lot too. So
good. Well, we might see him as the future coach here then.
Well, it's kind of like how Ben came.
That's how Ben kind of started up. The way he worked.
He got to learn from the master, and now he's a master.
Yeah.
He got his his job immediately after high school, I think.
Yeah. He learned from Coach Schaefer and stuff like that. So you never know, man. Well, congratulations on an outstanding senior season. Wish you the best of luck. And who knows, one of these days, if I'm still around and I'm doing a post-game show, Coach may say, send Bryson up there to talk to Young on the post-game show. You never know. Okay?
Never know.
All right. Bryson Osborne, our star of the game. Again, that was against Jackson and Courthouse in the month of December. We have one more guest coming up, and we'll talk to Colin May right after this here on the Epifano Sports Network. All right, back here with our final guest of the program today. We can always say, Colin, save the best for last. You want to?
Yeah.
You don't know what to say. He says, I ain't going there, Young. I'm not going there. Colin May's with us right now. Colin, of course, won the star of the game in late February. Down the stretch, you beat
Hillsboro.
Who was it? Hillsboro. The tournaments, right?
Yeah, it was a sectional game.
That was one of those games where all of a sudden, Coach brings you back off the bench, and all of a sudden you got really hot. 6 or 8 straight points, and I think you ended up double digits, if I remember right.
Yeah, I ended up getting 20 points.
20 points. How was your mental state going into that game maybe different from the regular season?
So we was actually playing for like a league title. So I was really zoned in. I had something to prove because I was getting upset about my playing time. And I just wanted to prove everybody wrong. And I ended up playing really well. I noticed my shot was falling from almost anywhere.
Yeah.
So I just kept letting it fly, and it just happened. Ended up getting 20 points, and everybody was proud of me.
You're probably pretty proud of yourself with the game.
I'm proud of
had.
myself.
Yeah.
That was my first time actually scoring that much.
I was gonna say usually if you do score, it's 4, 6, 8 points in that area and stuff.
About
So it's like people are saying he must have had his Cheerios or something this morning or something, but he was really on fire. Was it easier to play them though, like the second week in a row, or was it a little bit harder because you didn't know what to expect?
I think it was a lot easier actually.
Okay.
Just because I feel like the first game to me, you know, it got me in the groove, and then playing them right after, I just knew what to expect a lot easier. And it was just easier because you can't make a big change in that fast. So
Right.
you couldn't do much different.
Yeah, you know, if you play 20-some games, then try to change everything in 1 week's time is almost unheard of, per se. When you look at the season overall, obviously you guys, I've mentioned to the other guys too, you've had your highs and your lows and stuff like that. I don't want to dwell on it too much, but what were some of the emotions you were going through after, you know, Coach Ackley had his illness and his heart attack and stuff like that?
I felt down for him and bad, but at the same time I knew the whole team was there for him, and if he needed anything, we're all there, because our team's like, it's like all together as one. We're all like one family, and we're just there for each other, and if anybody ever needs anything, we're all there.
Now, do you play other sports?
No.
Just basketball?
Yeah, just basketball.
All right. Now, what are your future plans?
I'm thinking about going to the workforce. I'm not sure exactly where, but I'm thinking about getting a job, and I might go to a trade school like a year or two.
Well, that'd be good. That'd be good. Learning how to get a trade and stuff like that. Yeah. Looking back now that you've had Coach Ackley there for 3 years, you guys have slowly built the program back up and stuff. Was one of the things that, you know, the coaches have talked to you guys about the seniors' leaderships and stuff like that, is, okay, guys, we had a good season, won the league championship, got to the sectional finals. You guys have helped lay the foundation for the future. How's that make you feel?
I actually feel really good about it. I was kind of upset about how far we made it. I feel like we could have made a way bigger run.
Right.
But I'm just proud that we all went together and we did what we did.
Well, the thing was, as seniors, you guys were able to take one step further along each year.
Yeah.
And, you know, that first year I know was tough for all of you because you only got 6 wins, new system, and then last year second place, and then this year the championship. So, again, that's good. As we look now to school, as you mentioned before, do you have a certain thing that you went through in a school, in your classrooms and stuff like that, that you think might help you, whether it's trade school or whatever? Some of your classes or anything, or experiences?
Not exactly, but I did have some buddies in my classes, and we all pushed each other to just do good in the classroom and then do good on the court.
Okay, well, that's good. That's good. All right, well, congratulations. Like I say, I was like, during the broadcast, that what will happen to him? But, you know, like you say, if you're feeling it, the coach will probably tell you, just keep shooting it.
Oh, yeah.
And it was going in for you. So it's good.
I might have made some dumb shots, but I mean, they went in, so can't really say nothing about it.
As long as it went in, that's all that matters, man. All right. Well, congratulations once again on a good career. I wish you the best of luck in the future, okay?
Thank you.
All right. We'll take a final break, and we'll be back to wrap things up in just a moment right here on the Epifano Sports Network. All right, that's going to wrap up our program. Our thanks to all the young people and the coaches that did come forward today. We'll make sure everybody gets their plaques if they were not present. And next week, don't forget now, we have another doubleheader for you. Starting at 9 o'clock, we'll be doing the Student Athlete Award winners. And these are based upon young people and how they do both in the classroom, also on the athletic endeavors, as well as community service and so much more. And then around 10:30, we'll be doing our final Star of the Game program for the winter sports season. Then we'll take a couple weeks off. If we ever stopped raining, we might try to get some spring sports in here. But as of right now, we'll be doing a couple more baseball and softball games over the next couple weeks. So we'll be announcing those, plus the spring sports as well. We'll probably be doing that either in late May or early June, before everybody starts scattering about because of school and stuff like that. So we'll announce that date once we get closer to it. Thanks to Nick Epifano, and also for his staff that has worked very, very hard. And for you, the customers, because again, once again, it's a win-win situation. When you spend your dollars, invest in dollars here at the 4 locations of the Epifano McDonald's restaurant, you in turn are helping to support these young people as well. Until next Saturday at 9 o'clock, for Nick Epifano, I'm Randy Young. Thanks for joining us here on the Epifano Sports Network.